This is Max and Mia podcast.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Max and Mia podcast.
Hi there. We're so glad you're here with us today. Whether you're listening while commuting, working out, or just relaxing at home, we really appreciate you tuning in.
Absolutely. And if this is your first time joining us, well, welcome to the crew. We promise to keep things fun, interesting, and maybe even teach you a thing or two along the way.
That's right. And hey, if you're enjoying what you hear, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to our channel. It really helps us reach more awesome listeners like you.
Plus, subscribing means you'll never miss an episode. We've got some fantastic topics lined up for the coming weeks.
Okay, enough about us talking about ourselves. Let's dive into today's episode.
Let's do it.
So Max, today we're talking about something that affects all of us. Relationships and friendships. You know, how to make new friends, maintain healthy connections, and navigate social situations.
Oh, this is such a relevant topic, especially for people who might be living in a new city, starting a new job, or just looking to expand their social circle. Making friends as an adult can be tricky, right?
Definitely. It's not as easy as it was back in school. We'll be sharing some practical tips and real-life advice on how to build meaningful friendships and keep them strong.
And we're also going to talk about dealing with conflict in friendships. Because let's be honest, disagreements happen even with our closest friends. The key is knowing how to handle them properly.
Exactly. Plus, we'll discuss setting boundaries in relationships, which is super important for your mental health and well-being.
Throughout the episode, you'll also pick up some really useful vocabulary and phrasal verbs that native speakers use all the time when talking about social life. So keep your ears open.
All right, let's get started with our first topic, making new friends as an adult.
So, making friends as an adult, where do we even begin? I mean, when you're a kid, you just share your crayons and boom, instant best friend.
If only it were that simple now, right? But honestly, the foundation is still the same. Genuine conversation. The difference is that as adults, we need to be more intentional about it.
Exactly. And that's where language skills really come into play. There are some specific tools that can make your conversations flow more naturally and help you connect with people. Should we break them down?
Let's do it. First up, question tags. Now, you've probably heard these before, but do you actually use them? Because they're incredibly useful for keeping conversations going.
Right. So, what are question tags? They're those little questions we add to the end of statements, aren't they?
See what you did there? Aren't they? That's a question tag. They're super common in everyday English. Other examples would be like, "It's a nice day, isn't it?" Or, "You enjoyed the movie, didn't you?"
The beauty of question tags is that they invite the other person to engage. Instead of just making a statement and waiting awkwardly for a response, you're opening the door for them to jump in.
Totally. They make you sound friendlier and more approachable. Think about it. If you're at a coffee shop and someone says, "This place is pretty cozy, isn't it?" versus just, "This place is cozy," which one feels more like an invitation to chat?
Definitely the first one. It's a small change, but it makes a huge difference. Now here's a question for you listening. Do you use question tags when you speak English? If not, try adding one or two in your next conversation and see how people respond.
Love that. Okay, next up we have adverbs of manner. These help you express how things happen and make your speech sound more fluent and natural.
So basically, instead of saying he talks, you might say he talks quickly or she speaks confidently. The adverb gives you more information about the action.
Exactly. And when you're trying to make friends, using adverbs of manner helps you describe experiences and emotions more vividly. For example, I honestly enjoyed that concert sounds much more genuine than just, I enjoyed that concert.
Or, we totally need to do this again. The word totally emphasizes your enthusiasm. Other common ones you'll hear are clearly, honestly, actually, really, completely, seriously.
These words help you connect emotionally with people because they show how you genuinely feel about something. They add personality to what you're saying.
And that brings us to phrasal verbs. These are essential if you want to sound like a native speaker. Let's start with some that are perfect for talking about friendships.
First one, catch up. This means to spend time with someone you haven't seen in a while and exchange news. Like, hey, we should catch up over coffee sometime.
I use this one all the time. It's been ages. Let's catch up. It's casual and friendly. You can also use it when you're updating someone on what's been happening. Let me catch you up on what I've been doing.
Next, bump into. This means to meet someone unexpectedly. I bumped into Sarah at the grocery store yesterday. We hadn't seen each other in years.
It's always a pleasant surprise when you bump into an old friend, isn't it? And as you can hear, there's that question tag again.
Nice one. And finally, fit in. This one's really important when you're trying to make friends in a new environment. It means to feel comfortable and accepted in a group.
Yeah, like, I was nervous at first, but everyone was so welcoming that I fit in immediately. Or sometimes people worry, what if I don't fit in?
The thing about fitting in is that it happens naturally when you're being yourself and finding people who share your interests or values. You don't have to force it.
Absolutely. And honestly, the best friendships happen when you're not trying too hard, just being authentic and open.
So true. All right, so we've covered question tags, adverbs of manner, and some key phrasal verbs. But how does all of this actually sound in a real conversation?
Great question. Because hearing it in theory is one thing, but listening to it in practice really helps it click, doesn't it?
Exactly. So we've prepared a short conversation between two people who are getting to know each other as friends. You'll hear all of these elements we just discussed being used naturally.
Pay attention to how they use question tags to keep things flowing, how adverbs add emotion and personality, and how those phrasal verbs pop up organically.
Ready? Let's listen.
Hey, Nora. I'm so glad we could finally catch up. It feels like forever since we bumped into each other at that work event.
I know, right? That was, 3 weeks ago? Time flies. This place is really nice, isn't it?
Yeah, totally. I actually come here pretty often. The coffee's amazing, and it's not too crowded, which I honestly appreciate. So, how have you been settling in? You moved here recently, didn't you?
Yes, about 2 months ago. It's been a bit overwhelming, to be honest. You know how it is. New city, new job, trying to fit in everywhere. But it's getting better gradually.
I completely understand. I moved here 5 years ago, and those first few months were tough. Did you know anyone here before moving?
Not really, no. Just a couple of people from work, but we weren't exactly close. That's why I was really happy when we started chatting at that event. You seemed genuinely friendly, which made a huge difference.
Aw, thanks. I remember feeling the same way when I first arrived. People here can be a bit reserved initially, can't they? But once you break through, they're actually really warm.
Definitely. I've noticed that too. So how did you manage to build your social circle here? Because clearly you figured it out.
Well, I joined a running club, which helped massively. I wasn't even particularly into running before, but it turned out to be a great way to meet people regularly. We'd go for runs and then grab breakfast afterward.
That sounds amazing. I've been thinking about joining some kind of group or club. I love photography, so maybe something related to that?
Oh, you should absolutely do that. There's actually a photography meetup that happens every other Saturday downtown. I bumped into some of them once while they were shooting near the river. They seem like a cool bunch.
Really? That's perfect. Thanks for letting me know. See, this is exactly why catching up with people is so important. You never know what useful information you'll get, do you?
Totally true. And honestly, the best friendships I've made here happen naturally through shared interests. Like, I wasn't actively trying to make friends. I was just doing things I enjoyed, and the connections happened organically.
That's actually really reassuring to hear. I've been putting so much pressure on myself to immediately fit in and have this whole established friend group. But maybe I just need to relax a bit and let things unfold naturally.
Exactly. Don't force it. Just be yourself and put yourself out there occasionally. Speaking of which, a few of us are getting together next Friday for game night at my place. Would you like to come? It's super casual. Just pizza, board games, and good conversation.
Oh, wow. I'd love that. Thank you so much for inviting me. That's really kind of you.
Of course. Everyone's really friendly, I promise. Plus, it'll give you a chance to meet some other people in a relaxed setting. No pressure to be on or anything.
That sounds perfect, honestly. I really appreciate you making an effort to include me. It means a lot, especially since I'm still finding my feet here.
Hey, we've all been there. And honestly, I'm really glad we connected. You're easy to talk to, and I think you'll fit in perfectly with our group.
Thanks, Blake. This coffee date turned out to be exactly what I needed today. We should definitely do this more often, shouldn't we?
Absolutely. Let's make it a regular thing. Same time next month?
Deal. I'm already looking forward to it.
Okay. So, what did you think of that conversation? Pretty natural, right?
Yes, I loved how Blake made Nora feel welcome. Notice how he didn't just say you should join a club. He actually shared his own experience and gave her a specific recommendation about the photography meetup.
Exactly. And that's such an important point for our listeners. When you're building friendships, showing genuine interest and offering concrete help goes a long way. It's not just about the words you use, but the intention behind them.
Absolutely. And did you catch all those question tags? Isn't it? Didn't you? They kept the conversation flowing smoothly without it feeling like an interview.
Right. Okay, so now that we've covered how to start conversations and make connections, let's talk about another crucial skill in any relationship: giving advice.
Oh, this is a big one. Because let's face it, your friends are going to come to you with problems, dilemmas, relationship issues, career questions, and you need to know how to offer helpful advice without sounding pushy or judgmental.
Exactly. And in English, there are specific structures that sound more natural and appropriate depending on the situation. Let's break them down.
So first up, we have the classic should and shouldn't. These are probably the most common ways to give advice in English.
Right. Like, you should talk to your boss about that. Or, you shouldn't worry so much about what other people think. It's direct, but friendly.
The thing about should is that it's pretty soft advice. You're suggesting something, but you're not being super forceful about it. It leaves room for the person to make their own decision.
Which is perfect for most situations. You don't want to tell your friend what to do. You want to guide them. Now, when the advice is a bit more urgent or serious, we step it up with had better.
Ooh, yeah. Had better has more weight to it. Like, you'd better apologize to her soon, or we'd better leave now if we want to catch the train. There's an implication that something negative might happen if you don't follow the advice.
Exactly. It's not aggressive, but it's definitely stronger than should. You're saying, hey, this is really important, and there could be consequences if you don't act.
Right. So use it carefully. You don't want to sound like you're giving orders to your friends. Save it for situations where the stakes are genuinely higher.
Good point. Now, here's my favorite way to give advice, using the second conditional with if I were you.
Oh, this one's so useful. It's like you're putting yourself in their shoes. If I were you, I'd talk to him directly. Or, if I were you, I wouldn't take that job offer.
The beauty of this structure is that it feels less like you're telling them what to do and more like you're sharing what you would do in their situation. It's personal and empathetic.
And that's key, isn't it? When someone comes to you with a problem, they usually don't want you to solve it for them. They want to feel heard and supported.
Totally. Using if I were you acknowledges that it's their decision, but you're offering your perspective based on your own values and experiences.
Now, quick grammar note. Even though we're talking about I, we say if I were you, not if I was you. I know it sounds a bit formal, but that's the correct form for giving advice.
Good catch. Though honestly, in casual conversation, you'll hear people say, if I was you, all the time. But for our listeners who want to sound polished and natural, stick with were.
Definitely. So we've got should and shouldn't for general advice, had better for more urgent situations, and if I were you for empathetic, personal suggestions.
But here's the thing. Knowing the structures is only half the battle. The real skill is knowing when to use each one and how to deliver advice in a way that actually helps your friend, rather than making them feel judged or pressured.
So true. That's why context and tone matter just as much as the words themselves. Let's listen to another conversation where someone's asking for advice about a friendship dilemma, and pay attention to how these structures sound in real life.
You'll hear different types of advice being given, and notice how the language changes depending on how serious the situation is. Ready?
Let's hear it.
Hey, Jordan. Thanks for meeting me. I really needed to talk to someone about this whole situation with Marcus.
Of course. What's going on? You sounded pretty stressed on the phone.
Yeah, I am. So you know how Marcus and I have been friends since college, right? Well, lately he's been really flaky. Like he cancels plans at the last minute constantly. And when we do hang out, he's always on his phone or seems distracted.
That's frustrating. How long has this been happening?
I'd say about 3 months now. At first I thought maybe he was just busy with work, but it keeps happening. Last week we had dinner plans and he canceled 2 hours before. No real explanation, just something came up. And this isn't the first time.
That's rough. Have you tried talking to him about it?
Not directly, no. I don't want to come across as needy or dramatic, you know? But honestly, it's starting to bother me more than I thought it would. I'm beginning to wonder if he even values our friendship anymore.
Okay, so here's what I think. You should definitely talk to him about how you're feeling. I know it might feel awkward, but if you don't address it, the resentment is just going to build up.
You think so? I'm worried it'll make things weird between us.
I get that, but think about it this way. If the friendship matters to both of you, having an honest conversation shouldn't damage it. Actually, it might strengthen it. If I were you, I'd approach it from a place of curiosity rather than accusation.
What do you mean?
Well, instead of saying, "You're always canceling on me and it's really annoying," you could say something like, "Hey, I've noticed we haven't been connecting as much lately. Is everything okay with you?" That way, you're opening the door for him to share if something's going on in his life.
That's actually really smart. I hadn't thought about it like that. Maybe he's dealing with something and I've just been making it about me.
Exactly. People get wrapped up in their own stuff sometimes. But here's the thing. You shouldn't ignore your own feelings either. If he's going through something, that's understandable, but he should still communicate with you properly.
Right, that makes sense. So you think I should bring it up the next time we hang out?
Honestly, you'd better do it sooner rather than later. The longer you wait, the harder it'll be. Plus, if he cancels on you again without talking about this first, you're going to feel even worse.
True. Maybe I'll text him today and suggest we grab coffee this weekend. Just the two of us, no distractions.
Perfect. And when you're having that conversation, try to stay calm and not let your frustration take over. I know that's easier said than done, but if you go in defensive or angry, he might get defensive too.
Yeah, you're right. I should probably think about what I want to say beforehand so I don't just word vomit all my feelings at once. Good idea. And listen, if I were you, I'd also be prepared for the possibility that maybe your friendship is changing. Sometimes people grow apart, and that's okay. It doesn't mean the friendship wasn't real or valuable. I really hope it doesn't come to that, but I appreciate you being real with me about it. Of course. I just want you to be mentally prepared for any outcome. But honestly, I think if you approach this conversation with openness and honesty, there's a good chance you two can work through it. I hope so. What if he gets upset or thinks I'm overreacting, though?
Then that tells you something important about the friendship. Look, you shouldn't have to walk on eggshells around your friends. If expressing how you feel makes him upset, that's something he needs to work on, not you.
That's fair. You know what? I'm going to do it. I'm going to text him right now and set something up for this weekend.
Yes, I'm proud of you. It takes courage to have these kinds of conversations, but they're so necessary for healthy relationships.
Thanks, Jordan. Seriously, I feel so much better after talking this through with you. I was spiraling before, but now I have a plan.
That's what friends are for. And hey, let me know how it goes, okay? I'm rooting for you both to figure this out.
I will definitely keep you updated. And if it goes terribly, I'll probably need another therapy session with you.
Anytime. But I have a feeling it's going to go better than you think. Just be yourself and be honest. That's all you can do.
You're absolutely right. All right, I'm doing this. Wish me luck.
Good luck. You've got this.
Wow, that was such a relatable situation, wasn't it? I think we've all been in Tyler's position at some point.
Absolutely. What I loved about Jordan's approach was how they balanced being supportive with being honest. Did you notice how they use different advice structures depending on how urgent the point was?
Yes, like when Jordan said, "You'd better do it sooner rather than later." That had more weight because the situation really did need immediate attention. But for other things, they softened it with, "You should," or "if I were you."
Exactly. And that's the key takeaway here. Matching your language to the seriousness of the situation makes your advice land better. It shows you're actually thinking about what your friend needs, not just throwing out generic suggestions.
Well said. All right, I think that wraps up today's episode.
Thank you so much for tuning in to today's episode on relationships and friendships. We hope you picked up some useful vocabulary and feel more confident about making friends and giving advice in English.
We'd love to hear from you. Drop a comment below and tell us, what's your biggest challenge when it comes to making friends or maintaining relationships? Or share a time when a friend gave you really good advice.
And if you enjoyed this episode, please hit that like button and share it with someone who's learning English too. It really helps us reach more people like you.
Remember, learning a language isn't just about grammar and vocabulary. It's about connecting with people and building real relationships. So go out there and put what you've learned into practice.
You've got this. Stay curious, stay confident, and we'll catch you in the next episode.
Until next time.
Bye, everyone.